That orange juice you poured with breakfast this morning? According to Harvard School of Public Health research, it might contain as much sugar as a can of Coke, and your body processes it almost identically. And it's just one of 10 everyday foods that millions of Americans consume regularly, thinking they're making reasonable choices. Here's what makes this dangerous. These aren't exotic foods or obvious junk. These are items in your pantry right now, things you buy at Walmart or Costco without a second thought. Products marketed as everyday staples or even health food. But according to research from the NIH, the American Heart Association, Harvard, and the World Health Organization, some of the most common foods in American households are directly linked to obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer when consumed regularly. And the worst part? The food industry knows this. They've spent millions on marketing to make these products seem normal, convenient, even wholesome. Meanwhile, the science keeps getting clearer about what these foods actually do to your body over time. Food number 2 is something most families buy weekly without realizing that the World Health Organization has classified it in the same carcinogenic category as cigarettes. Not because the risk is identical, but because the evidence that it causes cancer is equally conclusive. Food number 10, packaged white bread and sandwich rolls. This is the soft white bread in plastic bags, the sandwich rolls, the hot dog and hamburger bun. It's positioned as everyday staple, affordable basic, lunchbox essential. The label suggests enriched. It's sometimes made with whole grain, meaning a token amount, fortified with vitamin. But according to the American Heart Association's guidance on whole grains versus refined grain, white bread is made from wheat that's been stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, leaving primarily starch and empty calorie. The evidence shows that refined grains like white bread are rapidly digested, causing blood sugar spikes followed by crashes. According to the AHA, diets high in refined grains are associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and weight gain. What is this? That sandwich you made on white bread. Your body processes it similarly to eating pure sugar. The bread breaks down so quickly that it provides almost no sustained energy, triggers insulin spikes, and leaves you hungry again within an hour. Bottom line, white bread is nutritionally bankrupt. The enriched label means they removed natural nutrients during processing, then added back synthetic version. You're eating flour and air, but at least bread doesn't pretend to be healthful. The next category actively deceives with fruit image food. Number 9, fruit juice. Even 100% juice. This is the one in the refrigerated section, or shelf-stable cartons with pictures of fresh fruit. It's positioned as healthy, natural, a good way to get fruit serving, better than soda. The claim is vitamins, natural, 100% juice, fruit serving. But according to Harvard School of Public Health research, fruit juice, even 100% juice with no added sugar, contains as much sugar per ounce as soda and lacks the fiber that makes whole fruit healthy. And the evidence is clear. Harvard researchers found that an 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains 21 grams of sugar, nearly as much as a can of Coke. According to their analysis, when you remove fiber from fruit, you're left with liquid sugar that spikes blood sugar rapidly, without the satiety that whole fruit provides. The American Heart Association's research on sugary drinks includes fruit juice in the category of sugar-sweetened beverages that should be limited or avoided. The fact that the sugar occurs naturally in fruit doesn't change how your body processes it when it's been separated from the fiber. Here's what parents need to understand. Giving kids juice boxes thinking you're providing fruit servings is like giving them soda with vitamins added. The sugar content is nearly identical. The blood sugar impact is the same. Oh, and the lack of fiber means no satiety. The real impact is that families consume fruit juice daily, thinking it's healthy when it's contributing to the same metabolic problems as soda: obesity, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes risk. Verdict: whole fruit provides fiber, satiety, and nutrient. Fruit juice provides liquid sugar with a health halo. Drink water and eat actual fruit instead. And this brings us to foods where added sugars are deliberately hidden. Food number 8, flavored yogurt, especially low-fat variety. This is the one in individual cups with fruit flavors, granola mix-ins, or dessert flavors like key lime pie or cheesecake. It's marketed as healthy snacks, good source of protein and probiotic, better than dessert option. The label suggests protein, probiotics, calcium, wholesome snacking. But according to the American Heart Association's research on added sugars, many flavored yogurts contain 20 to 30 grams of added sugar per serving, as much as ice cream or candy bars. The evidence shows that when manufacturers remove fat, create low-fat version, they compensate for lost flavor and texture by adding sugar. According to the AHA, this creates products that are worse for metabolic health than full-fat plain yogurt because the added sugar drives insulin spikes without providing satiety. Harvard research on sugary foods notes that the probiotics and protein in yogurt don't offset the metabolic damage from 25 grams of added sugar. You're eating dessert that happens to contain beneficial bacteria. So, what is brutal? Health-conscious people choose flavored yogurt over ice cream, thinking they're making better choices. But they're consuming the same amount of sugar, just with probiotic cultures that don't undo the metabolic impact. Bottom line, plain yogurt with your own fruit added is nutritious. Flavored yogurt is sugar delivery with a health claim. Read the nutrition label, not the marketing, but at least yogurt started as real food. The next category is engineered from the ground up. Food number 7, breakfast cereal, especially kid-targeted brand. This is the one in colorful boxes with cartoon characters, toys, and health claims about whole grains or added vitamin. It's positioned as quick breakfast, part of a complete meal, fortified with nutrient. The claim is whole grains, vitamins, and minerals, convenient breakfast solution. But according to the American Heart Association, and breakfast cereals, particularly those marketed to children, often contain more sugar per serving than cookies or donut. The evidence shows that cereals marketed to kids average 12 to 15 grams of sugar per serving, and the serving size listed is often unrealistically small. Many people eat 2 or 3 times the suggested portion. According to the AHA, starting the day with refined carbohydrates and sugar sets up a blood sugar roller coaster that drives mid-morning crashes and over. Harvard research on added sugars emphasizes that fortified with vitamin is meaningless when the base product is refined grains and sugar. Spraying synthetic vitamins onto sweetened puffed wheat doesn't make it nutritious. It makes it slightly less nutritionally bankrupt. Now here's the reality. Children who eat sugary cereal regularly are training their palates to expect extreme sweetness at breakfast, learning to reject less sweet options, and starting every day with blood sugar spikes that affect focus, energy, and hunger throughout the morning. The real impact is generational. We're raising kids on breakfast candy while calling it cereal, then wondering why they reject oatmeal or a whole grain toast as not sweet enough. Verdict: if a cereal contains more than 6 grams of sugar per serving, it's dessert with vitamins sprayed on it. Treat it accordingly. And now, we're entering territory where the processing becomes the primary problem. Food number 6, ultra-processed snack food, chips, crackers, cookie. This is the category that fills the center aisles of every grocery store. Potato chips, cheese crackers, sandwich cookies, snack cake. It's positioned as convenient snack, portion-controlled treats, affordable option. The label suggests variety, portion control, shelf-stable, convenient. But according to the NIH study on ultra-processed foods, these products are specifically engineered to drive overconsumption through combinations of sugar, salt, fat, and additives that override your body's natural satiety signal. The evidence is damning. NIH researchers conducted a controlled study where people could eat as much as they wanted. Those given ultra-processed foods consumed an average of 500 more calories per day than those given unprocessed food, even though both diets were matched for calories, protein, fat, carbs, and fiber. According to the study, people eating ultra-processed foods gained an average of 2 pounds in 2 weeks. While those eating unprocessed foods lost 2 pounds. This isn't about willpower or portion control. According to the NIH research, ultra-processed foods are formulated to be hyper-palatable. They hit your brain's reward centers in ways that make you want to keep eating even when you're full. The texture is engineered, the flavors are optimized, the salt-sugar-fat ratios are calculated to maximize consumption. So, what is this? Every time you buy chips or cookies thinking, I'll just have a small portion, you're fighting against food science specifically designed to make portion control fail. These products are engineered to make you eat the whole bag. Bottom line, ultra-processed snack foods aren't food. They're food-like products designed to drive overconsumption. The NIH study proves this isn't about self-control. It's about food engineering. But at least snack foods are obviously treats. The next category hides behind protein claim. Food number 5, sugar-sweetened beverages, soda, sweet tea, sports drink. This is the category that includes regular soda, sweetened iced tea, sports drinks, energy drinks, and sweetened coffee beverages. It's positioned as refreshment, energy, hydration, treat beverages. The label suggests suggests refreshment, energy boost, electrolyte replenishment, flavor variety. But according to Harvard School of Public Health, sugar-sweetened beverages are the single largest source of added sugars in the American diet and are directly linked to weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. The evidence is comprehensive. Harvard researchers found that people who consume one or more sugar-sweetened beverages per day have a 26% greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who rarely consume them. According to the American Heart Association, a single 20-ounce soda contains 65 grams of added sugar, more than double the daily maximum for adults. Here's what the research shows that beverage companies don't want publicized. Liquid calories don't trigger satiety the way solid food does. According to Harvard's analysis, when you drink 250 calories in soda, you don't compensate by eating less food. You just add 250 calories to your daily total. The real impact is cumulative. One soda per day is 65 grams of added sugar times 365 days equals 23,725 grams of sugar per year. That's over 52 pounds of pure sugar annually from a single daily beverage. And your body has to process every gram through insulin response, liver metabolism, and fat storage. Bottom line, sugar-sweetened beverages provide zero nutrition while delivering disease-promoting amounts of added sugar. According to Harvard and AHA research, they're the single most harmful category of commonly consumed food, and the top 4 are even worse because they combine multiple risk factors. Food number 4, processed baked goods, packaged muffins, donuts, pastry. This is the category sold in convenience stores, coffee shops, and grocery bakery section. Individually wrapped muffins, boxes of donuts, Danish pastries, coffee cake. It's positioned as breakfast options, coffee accompaniments, affordable treats. The claim is quick breakfast, energy boost, a portion-controlled indulgence. But according to the American Heart Association, these products combine the worst elements of unhealthy foods: refined flour, added sugars, often 30 to 40 grams per serving, and trans fats or saturated fats from cheap oils and butter. The evidence shows that a single large muffin can contain 400 to 600 calories, 40 to 50 grams of sugar, and 20 plus grams of fat, equivalent to eating a slice of cake for breakfast. According to the AHA, starting the day with this combination of refined carbs, sugar, and fat creates massive blood sugar swings and sets up poor eating patterns for the rest of the day. Harvard research on added sugars notes that these baked goods are often marketed with health halos, made with whole grains, a token amount, contains real fruit, minimal or low fat, compensated with extra sugar. The marketing obscures the reality that you're eating dessert disguised as breakfast. So, what is this? That blueberry muffin from the coffee shop isn't a reasonable breakfast. It's cake marketed as morning food, and eating cake for breakfast trains your body to expect and crave high sugar, high fat foods throughout the day. Verdict: processed baked goods are desserts with breakfast timing. According to AHA and Harvard research, regular consumption contributes to weight gain, insulin resistance, and metabolic dysfunction. And now, we're reaching the top 3 foods where the health risks are most clearly established. Food number 3, processed cheese product, American cheese, cheese spreads, cheese-flavored snack. This is the category that includes individually wrapped cheese slices, aerosol cheese, cheese spreads, and cheese-flavored crackers or chips. It's positioned as convenient protein, kid-friendly, lunchbox staple. The label suggests calcium, protein, real cheese, but according to food labeling regulations, many of these products can't legally be called cheese. They're labeled as cheese product, cheese food, or pasteurized prepared cheese product because they contain so many additives, emulsifiers, and fillers. The evidence shows these products are heavily processed with added sodium, often 300 to 400 milligrams per slice. Emulsifiers like sodium phosphate, preservatives, and food coloring. According to the American Heart Association, the high sodium content in processed cheese contributes to hypertension and cardiovascular disease risk. Here's the reality. Real cheese is made from milk, cultures, enzymes, and salt. Yet processed cheese products start with real cheese, then add emulsifying salts, extra whey, milk fat, flavors, and preservatives to create a product that's shelf-stable, meltable, and uniform, but nutritionally inferior to actual cheese. The real impact is that Families use these products daily, thinking they're providing protein and calcium when they're actually consuming heavily processed dairy products with excessive sodium and minimal nutritional value compared to real cheese. Bottom line, if the package says cheese product instead of cheese, it's because legally it can't be called cheese. Buy actual cheese instead. But even processed cheese is made from dairy. The next category has evidence of cancer risk. Food number 2, processed meat, hot dogs, bacon, sausage, deli meats. This is the category that includes breakfast favorites, a lunchbox staples, and convenience protein. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, pepperoni, salami, deli turkey, ham, roast beef. It's positioned as protein-rich, quick meal solutions, American classic. The label suggests protein, convenience, family-friendly food. But according to the World Health Organization's comprehensive evaluation, processed meat is classified as carcinogenic human, group 1, meaning there is sufficient evidence that it causes cancer. The evidence is substantial and clear. The WHO's International Agency for Research on Cancer reviewed more than 800 studies and concluded that eating 50 grams of processed meat per day, about 2 slices of bacon or 1 hot dog, increases the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. According to the WHO, the classification is based on sufficient evidence from human studies showing that processed meat consumption causes cancer. Here's what this classification means. The WHO puts processed meat in the same carcinogenic category as tobacco smoking and asbestos. This doesn't mean the magnitude of risk is equivalent. Smoking is far more dangerous, but it means the evidence that processed meat causes cancer is similarly conclusive. The WHO explains that the cancer risk comes from the processing methods, curing, smoking, adding nitrites and nitrates as preservative. These processes create compounds, including N-nitroso compounds that are carcinogenic. So, what is devastating? That bacon with breakfast, those deli sandwiches for lunch, those hot dogs at kids' baseball games, these aren't harmless convenience food. According to the WHO's analysis of decades of research, they're cancer-causing foods that Americans consume as dietary staple. Bottom line, processed meats are classified as carcinogenic by the World Health Organization. The evidence that they cause cancer is sufficient and conclusive. Occasional consumption might be an acceptable risk, but making these foods daily staples is playing odds with cancer. And now we've reached number 1, the food category with the clearest evidence of comprehensive health damage. Food. Number 1, fast food and restaurant meals, especially burgers, fries, fried chicken. This is it, the absolute worst. Not a specific brand, but the entire category of fast food and restaurant meals that have become dietary staples for millions of Americans. It's positioned as convenient, affordable, treat meals, ob and family dining. The label suggests value, convenience, consistent quality, portion-controlled option. But according to research from the NIH, Harvard, and the American Heart Association, fast food and restaurant meals combine every problematic element discussed: ultra-processing, added sugars, excessive sodium, refined grains, and often processed meats. The evidence is comprehensive across sources. According to the NIH study, restaurant and fast food meals are almost exclusively ultra-processed, meaning they're engineered to drive overconsumption through specific combinations of salt, sugar, and fat. Harvard research shows that a typical fast food meal can contain 1,000 to 1,500 calories, 50 to 80 grams of fat, and 1,500 to 2,500 milligrams of sodium, often exceeding daily maximums in a single meal. The American Heart Association research on added sugars shows that fast food meals include hidden sugars in burger buns, sauces, and beverages. A combo meal can easily contain 80 to 100 grams of added sugar when you include the soda. And according to WHO guidance, many fast food staples include processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli meats that are classified as carcinogenic. Here's what the complete evidence picture shows. Fast food and frequent restaurant dining combine ultra-processed food. NIH research shows these drive overeating. Excessive added sugars. Harvard and AHA link these to diabetes and heart disease. High sodium. AHA links this to hypertension. And often processed meats. WHO classifies as carcinogenic. The real impact is that fast food has transitioned from occasional treat to dietary staple for millions of Americans. According to research, adults who eat fast food frequently have higher rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. Children raised on frequent fast food develop taste preferences and eating patterns that persist into adulthood. Bottom line, fast food and restaurant meals represent the convergence of everything wrong with the modern food system. Ultra-processed processing, excessive calories, added sugars, sodium, and often carcinogenic processed meat, all engineered for profit maximization rather than health. According to comprehensive research from NIH, Harvard, AHA, and WHO, regular consumption of these foods is linked to every major preventable chronic outrow. Bottom line, the everyday foods slowly destroying Americans' health aren't exotic or unusual. They're in your pantry, your fridge, and your kids' lunchboxes right now. The difference is that most people don't realize what decades of research from NIH, Harvard, the American Heart Association, and the World Health Organization have conclusively shown about these foods. Ultra-processed foods drive overeating and weight gain. Added sugars contribute to diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Sugar-sweetened beverages are the single largest source of harmful added sugars. And processed meats are classified as carcinogenic, with sufficient evidence that they cause cancer. These aren't scare tactics or opinion. These are conclusions from the world's leading health research institution, based on studies involving millions of people over decades. You don't have to eliminate these foods entirely. But you should understand what the evidence says about regular consumption and make informed decisions rather than assuming that everyday foods sold at every grocery store must be safe to eat daily. So here's my question. Which of these 10 foods are you eating most regularly? Comment honestly, no judgment, just awareness of the gap between what we know and what we actually do. If this video changed how you think about everyday foods, hit subscribe. Tomorrow we're breaking down the marketing tricks that make unhealthy foods seem healthy. And trust me, once you see the tactics, you can't unsee them. See you then.